2 years ago I did a unboxing and review of my Dewalt DW733 Thicknesser. I was asked if I would do an update on it, and it's been some time in coming, but 2 years later here it is. The first thing and most important thing I would say is that whatever you do, register the warranty. I didn't, and it cost me. Just over a year after I bought my Thicknesser, one day when I was using it, it tripped the breaker on the consumer unit and then refused to work altogether. I took it to my local Dewalt repair centre, the authorised centre, and they came back a few days later and said the motor was shot. Because I was out of warranty, I should have paid for the full repair, including a new motor, but they were incredibly helpful. They claimed the motor under warranty from Dewalt, but I paid for the labour to do it. Got it back about 10 days later, started to use it, and a week later exactly the same thing happened. The breaker tripped and it refused to work, and exactly the same fault on the planer. They replaced it again and it's been working ever since. If you register the warranty on the Dewalt, you get 2 years, not one. So whatever you do, if you buy one of these, and I suggest any other expensive piece of equipment, register the warranty. I've been using it now for 2 years. A lot of my work is planing oak, so I buy oak, beech, I buy olive wood, mainly hardwoods for the work that I do, and I buy them as rough sawn. So this is a piece of probably about 34mm oak that I'm going to plane down to 18mm for what I need it for. It's got a slight bow on it. You won't be able to see it there, but it's got a slight bow on it, which I will take out. I've learnt that I should plane and use the wood as quickly as possible, because I've got other pieces of wood here that, well, that was planed some time ago and it's got a significant bow in it. I could take that out, but there probably wouldn't be a lot of wood left, so I need to decide what to do with that. I found it's been very good. I'm on my second set of blades. The first set I took to be resharpened, and I'm now on my second set, and I've got those ones to replace these with, so I've always got a spare set of blades if I need to. And the reason I got them resharpened was I got a small dink from a staple that had been left in the side of a piece of wood. I rarely use recycled wood because I found it's not worth it. A small dink from a nail or the leftover bit of a nail, and that's a set of blades shot, and they either need resharpening or a new set is needed. The quality of the finish that I've got on this is good. It's really good for what I do, so a quick sand after I put it through the planer and it's all ready to be used. I don't sand it again after that. I found that if you use 240 grit after I've put it through the planer, just a quick sand over and everything is ready. I do get slight snipe on it, so I'm careful how I put the wood in and how I take it out. So sometimes I allow more in terms of length so I can get rid of the snipe. Sometimes actually I just sand out the snipe. It's not that bad, but it's enough that I can see it, so I sand that out before I use the wood. The other thing I found is that it can get sticky. So sometimes you'll find that as you put the wood through, it doesn't feed through very evenly. It may take longer to get through, may get stuck, and I found that using this Liberon lubricating wax is incredibly helpful. As soon as I put some on, it just slides through incredibly easily. So I put a little bit on, buff it off so it doesn't get left on the wood, and then I put the wood back through and all is okay again. But I use it occasionally, not needed that often, but when I feel it's starting to get sticky, I put a bit on and everything's back as it should be. I'm just putting the lubricating wax on. It doesn't take very long. Just put some on the infeed, the centre and the outfeed tables. And then buff it off. And I find that doing this occasionally means that the wood slips through so much easier and doesn't get stuck. It's well worth it. The lubricating wax doesn't cost very much. Sure there are different varieties. This is one I use, Liberon lubricating wax. I use it on other pieces of my workshop equipment and find that it's very good. The other thing that I was asked if I would look at is someone very eagle-eyed noticed the Wixey depth gauge that I fitted to my Dewalt. I found that checking the actual depth on the Dewalt as it comes is not the easiest of things, and a digital readout is something that I found very helpful. This is the Wixey depth gauge, which I fitted to the side of my Dewalt. It gives me down to 0.1 millimeters in terms of thickness, which is plenty sufficient accuracy for what I need. I don't need to go any closer than that. You know, within 0.1 millimeters is absolutely fine for the work that I do. I find it very helpful because it's got a digital readout on the top here, and I find that it's pretty accurate. It does take a little bit of fiddling to set it up and to get it right. So basically I put some wood through, plane it, use my calipers to get a thickness of that wood, and then set the Wixey to that thickness. So once that is done, this then just goes off and does its stuff every time I put wood through. I found that it's very helpful, very good, very accurate, and does everything I need, and is so much easier than trying to tell the thickness of the wood from the gauges that are on the Dewalt itself. So I'd highly recommend this. I think it's about 50 quid, and it works really well. So for me, I've just stuck it to the side of this. Depending on your thicknesser, you can put it in different places, and they're different fittings. It's just stuck with me with some double-sided pads here to the side of it, and works very well. I'm not going to take it off because I'd have to recalibrate it, but you can see there the gauge that I get at 30.2, which is where I'm going to start the job that I'm about to do, and then it will go down and tell me when I've got to the thickness. So I'm going to plane piece of wood down to about 18 millimeters, well, down to 18 millimeters. Before I actually put any wood through it, there are two things that I think it's worth pointing out. Firstly, these machines are noisy. So I use some earphones, they're noise cancelling, to try to mitigate the noise of the thicknesser. The other thing is you need a decent dust collector. These produce a lot of chips. So I now use a Record Camvac with an Axminster Cyclone to actually take all of the chips away. That's what I use for all the machines in my workshop, and I'll do a review of that as a separate video. But you do need a 100mm decent extractor to get the chips from this, because there's a lot of them. So there you are, that was taken down from just over 30mm to 18mm. You may have noticed I locked the head down on the very last pass. That's to get consistency and an accurate thickness. I find if I don't, I get slight variations in the thickness, but once you lock the head down, the thickness is set and it's consistent. I hope this has been helpful. I'll try and do some more reviews of other things that I've done, so the cyclone that I've put in, the extractor that I've put in, and maybe other things as well. So thank you for watching.